Back in 2017, while still writing on GameSkinny, I went through a patch of going in search of promising Kickstarters, hoping to find some new and interesting titles to write articles on, and of course, get to try out the demos if available. I remember my search being a fruitful one. I found games such as the Dark Souls inspired Hellpoint, Twirlbound's upcoming open world action adventure Pine, and of course, the game we're taking a look at today. That game is indie developer Julian Laufer's upcoming Metroidvania adventure game, OUTBUDDIES. OUTBUDDIES is an upcoming Metroidvania game developed by Julian Laufer and published by Headup. It is estimated to release sometime between the last quarter of 2019 and the first quarter of 2020 on PC, PS4, Xbox One and Nintendo Switch. OUTBUDDIES has come an awful long way since I covered the Kickstarter demo back in 2017. While many changes have been made to the game, everything that made the demo so captivating still remains. It is shaping up to becoming a true Metroidvania classic. Please note this preview and the footage you're seeing is of a work in progress build of the game, and does not represent a finished or complete product. In OUTBUDDIES you take on the role of adventurer and maritime archaeologist Nikolai Bernstein, who is in search of the Old Ones, an ancient civilization of great mythical beings that are believed to have created the Earth. His investigation leads him to a sunken city named Battleland that is supposedly located at the bottom of the South Atlantic Ocean. However, upon reaching the location in his airship, it is presumed to be destroyed, and Bernstein finds himself 36,000 feet under the sea and severely wounded. His life is saved, however, by unwillingly becoming connected to a supernatural buddy unit. The buddy unit has the abilities to manipulate his surroundings using hacking, scanning and telekinesis. With the help of his strange new friend, Bernstein must venture through the sunken city of the old gods and uncover its secrets if he's ever to return home. The plot to OUTBUDDIES largely remains the same, with the only real changes being the protagonist. Originally, the protagonist of the game was a marine biologist by the name of John and had a beard, while our new hero has a much more creative and striking name along with a more distinctive physical appearance, with a rather impressive moustache. Not to mention the diving suit having a major design overhaul, making it much more colourful and outstanding from the dull grey of the original. The changes to the protagonist are all welcoming and really make the character stand out. Originally, in comparison to now, the name John was quite mundane and the suit design equally so. Now, however, with a name like Nikolai Bernstein and a bright red suit with health indicators on it, make the character stand out fantastically and making him far more memorable. As for the plot itself, it is as interesting as it's always been. The concept of exploring a long lost and forgotten sunken city of old gods is brilliant. The deep depths of the Earth's oceans are still mostly a mystery to us, so to have a game based off of that is always a fantastic choice, and one that rarely is used. It adds to the sense of adventure and mystery and really keeps you wanting to know more. Of the few hours I've played of the build, it is a bit slow to get started, but once things start to unravel and you begin to encounter the horrors within, you become utterly absorbed. You become even more determined to uncover the truth behind the dark and mysterious Battleland. The deep ocean is a perfect place for a setting in a video game, and Laufer is using it to his every advantage to create an interesting and engaging plot, and he has certainly succeeded in doing exactly that. The objective in OUTBUDDIES is to search the lost city of Battleland and uncover its secrets in an attempt to get home. To do this with the help of your new buddy unit friend, you must make your way through the dark and cavernous place, facing the horrors that lurk within it. Battleland is separated into a number of large and different areas, with each area being divided into chambers that are interlinked with tunnels, and each having its own unique environmental design. These tunnels require specific weapon upgrades, ammo types and puzzles to be solved to open. You start the game off in the Lost Ruins before finding a friendly tribe of creatures called the Wozan. They live in fear of the Old Ones and wish to return to the surface where their ancestors once came from before being enslaved. Bernstein to them is their prophet, the man from the surface that will come and rid them of their tyrants. A little while after finding the Wozan, the game begins to open up, allowing you to make your own way, giving you more than one option of where to go next, giving a welcoming sense of freedom to the game. As you explore these strange places, you will need to solve minor puzzles with the help of your buddy. You can switch between Bernstein and buddy by pressing the shift key. The only thing to keep in mind is that if Bernstein takes damage, control will go straight back to him, meaning you will need to activate control of buddy again. The buddy unit has a number of abilities that you can use, including hacking, telekinesis and scanning. Telekinesis allows buddy to move and carry large objects like blocks around, which are needed to gain access to places otherwise unreachable, or to place them on pressure pads to open doors. Hacking in OUTBUDDIES is not what you expect the name to imply. How it works here is that it allows you to manipulate the environment around you, in this case enemies. With hacking, enemies can be turned into artificial blocks and moving platforms. Some can even be killed by hacking them, though not all monsters can be affected by it. This is where scanning comes into play. By holding down the spacebar while controlling Buddy, you can scan the environment, and while scanning enemies, it will tell you if they can be hacked or not and how the hack will affect them. There are a total of 6 levels of hacking, which are unlocked by finding specific upgrades hidden throughout the maps. The further you progress in the game, the higher the level of hacking you will need for it to work on an enemy. The buddy co-op system of the game is fantastic, and I can't think of another Metroidvania game that has used anything like it in the past. Not only is it utterly unique, but it also works brilliantly, creating a whole new level of complexity to the game. There are instances where you can progress with just Bernstein on his own, but if you were to use Buddy's hacking ability, you will find other ways of progressing too. So not only is it used as a form of puzzle solving, but also opens up multiple ways of traversing the map, which is fantastic. It's a very clever system that adds a whole lot of weight to the game, making it really stand out from the crowd. It isn't just Buddy, however, that has tricks up his sleeve, but Bernstein too. As you progress through the game, you will find various upgrades and equipment that can be used. In the time I spent with the game, I got my hands on the Seahorse revolver, the revolver charge shot, explosive charges, and missiles. The Seahorse revolver is the standard weapon that Bernstein has available to him, a living organic weapon that fires out green plasma like projectiles. As you progress, you will get the charge upgrade for the weapon, allowing you to charge up a shot, delivering a much more powerful projectile. It is also required to open certain doors. Explosive charges can be placed on walls, floors, ceilings and the likes to blow away loose rock in order to find hidden tunnels to gain access to new areas and secrets hidden throughout the world. Missiles are a powerful rocket that can be fired at enemies, though you can only carry so many of them at a time. There are, however, missile rack upgrades to be found which increase the total amount of missiles you can carry at any one time, up to a maximum, I believe, of 100. Additional missiles are dropped by enemies along with health pickups upon death and can be refilled completely when you meet the Wozan mechanic. Of course, these are just a small few of the available upgrades and gadgets that are available in OUTBUDDIES. There are many more I'm excited to get my hands on and try out. With each new upgrade and equipment item you find, you're presented with new ways to fight enemies and get around the map. It's always exciting to find something new and to play around with, to see how it can be used to your advantage and what new possibilities of exploration it opens up to you. Along with the finding of upgrades and new equipment, you'll also need to rescue members of the Wozan tribe that are trapped or enslaved throughout the world. There are also treasures of the old ones which are used to gain access to new areas and to give to the soul devourers, who in exchange for the treasure offer you a one-time resurrection upon death. Something that is extremely useful when facing off against bosses, but it is said using such a service could come with a price. As for the combat itself, it is fast paced and very skill based. There is no mistaking it. OUTBUDDIES is a hard and challenging game, especially with the terrifying bosses that are not very predictable, nor are they slow at attacking. Timing, judgment and observation is the absolute key to the combat of OUTBUDDIES. It requires a number of tactics. With the further in the game you progress, the more you need to use your new equipment to your advantage. The revolver's standard shot alone won't be enough to keep you alive the further you progress, so learning how each new upgrade and equipment can be used to your advantage is critical, and makes for some of the most intense combat I've experienced for quite some time, especially with the bosses. From what I've experienced at the current build of the game, I've been utterly captivated by it. The gameplay feels and plays great. The co-op play between Bernstein and Buddy is fantastic, adding a real depth to the game that hasn't been applied before to other games in the genre. And the combat, especially with the bosses, are intense and challenging throughout, without being brutally punishing, as you respawn at the start of the room you're in. It is that perfect blend of nostalgia where you have everything that makes for a great Metroidvania, and the modern that brings new ideas and mechanics to the table to create something utterly unique and refreshing, that will keep you hooked from beginning to the end. And for those who enjoy achievement hunting, there is plenty to unlock, including a speedrunner achievement of finishing the game in under 7 hours, and for the masochistic players, an achievement for finishing the entire game with a maximum of 7 deaths. There is plenty here for every type of gamer out there. The atmosphere of OUTBUDDIES is incredible. It has always had a dark, alien and mysterious tone running through it, but since the Kickstarter demo I played back in 2017, the environments have had a complete overhaul that only further intensifies that dark theme running through the game. In the demo everything was very well lit up, but now the general environments take a darker palette that complements the equally as so atmosphere evermore. You truly feel like you're in a place where humans were not supposed to discover, a place that is alien to that of what we know, a place where evil lurks. Despite its somewhat lightheartedness and at times colourful nature, there is a horror tone running through OUTBUDDIES, with clear Lovecraftian inspiration, which gives a sense of unease throughout, and the soundtrack that accompanies the game is utterly fitting with the atmosphere, only adding to that sense of being in a dark and alien place full of mystery and danger. Getting to play OUTBUDDIES again has been a fantastic experience, and to see how far it has come and grown since the Kickstarter days in 2017 has been interesting. I love how despite so many changes, the game still feels exactly like it did back then, and most of all, give me that same excitement it did then too. My time with OUTBUDDIES has been an absolute joy. From its interesting and mysterious plot, to the solid, unique and clever gameplay mechanics, to the utterly absorbing atmosphere and fast-paced, skill-based combat, OUTBUDDIES is a Metroidvania classic in the making. There has been an increase in very promising and well-received Metroidvania games in recent times, most notable Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, and of course the recently released Blasphemous. Despite that being the case, OUTBUDDIES is more than deserving of a place among them. With its unique gameplay mechanics and its entirely different concept and approach, I believe OUTBUDDIES is a game that can truly stand out from the crowd. If you're a fan of Metroidvania games, OUTBUDDIES is one you should definitely add to your list.